So this is one of my favorite calls to do. And Gladys, who is one of my very favorite people in the world, was talking about how last week how she really needed an extra hour or two every day and her ability to manage time. And so we're going to talk about time management today in our Make Money Now coaching call. But I'm going to share this wonderful secret with you is that you can't manage time. Regardless of what you do, time just happens. So it doesn't matter if I decide to focus on time. Time's just going to elapse. And so ultimately what happens is we get into a position where we need to get better at managing what we do in relation to time. So we're really not managing time, we're managing ourselves in relation to the time that we have. So just to give everyone a little bit of background in my experience, if you are new to the call, I was the #1 new agent in Florida in 2005, 2006. I've sold over 120 million in a single year. I've listed 120 properties in 1 year. I'm a national trainer and coach. I've owned 3 different brokerages. I have worked with every major brand out there and am in love with 99.9% of them. Actually, all of them. Every brand that I've worked for and worked with, I have an affinity to because of what they do differently within this wonderful market that we call real estate. I am the former Chief Operating Officer of The Real Recruiter and Chet Black Solutions, for those of you that follow John Chet Black. And I am a former Tom Ferry coach, for those of you that are Tom Ferry people. And this week is coming up is Summit. I believe it's in Las Vegas this year. I'm not going to be there, unfortunately. But for those of you that are going, it is one of the most amazing real estate events there is. So I'm going to take a step back from time management and talk about priorities. So the most important thing that we have in our real estate career is our ability to prospect and generate leads. There is nothing more important. This is the #1 thing. There cannot be anything more important. And if you are new to this business and you think I'm wrong, guess what? I have helped thousands of brand new agents, and the ones that have gotten this have survived. The ones that have not gotten this have not survived. So we need to have 6 to 10 lead sources. Tom Ferry talks about the core 4 lead sources being our center of influence, which is a combination of our past clients and our sphere of influence, people that know and love us and people that we know and love. Geographic farming, so locational lead generation and lead management. So how do I interact with my neighbors and my neighbors' neighbors? Mega open houses, and this is not just a lead source, but a lead management tool, because the people that we invite to our open houses are the people that are part of our farm and our center of influence. And then lastly, and I would strongly put this out to you, lastly of the core 4 is online leads. So until you are mastering your center of influence, your geographic farming, doing mega open houses at least once a month, I would wait on spending money and time and energy on online leads. That is just my opinion. Time blocking and daily activities. So I'm going to quote a few different people here, and I hope that you can relate to some of these quotes. So, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. That is Abraham Lincoln. And I would say that give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I will spend the first 5 hours thinking about how I can get somebody else to do it. Then I will spend 15 minutes sharpening the axe. I will spend 30 minutes saying, I really don't want to do this, and then I will chop down the tree in the last 15 minutes, probably the last 4 minutes. By preparing to fail, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. And that is why we are on this coaching call right now, is so that we can actually spend some time and energy and effort and those wonderful world vibrations and universal vibrations into getting good at managing our relationship to time. And I'm going to go and I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between commitments and goals. But unless commitment is made, there are only promises and hopes, but no plans. So what does that mean? What is the difference between a goal and a commitment? I will say this: a goal is something that I aspire to do. A goal is something that I want to do, and a commitment is something that I do. Um, Integrity is something that we all aspire to have. Integrity is doing what you say you are going to do, no matter what. And I believe that the first step in being able to manage our priorities and manage our time is getting into integrity. If I say I'm going to do it, I do it. And I'm going to help you with some strategies around knowing what it is you need to do and guaranteeing that those things get done. So we can't manage time. We can only manage priorities. I talk about how to eat a frog every time I talk about time management. If you have on your to-do list, and if you are a person who does lists, that's fantastic. I'm not a list person, but those who are list people, if you have a list of 10 things that you need to get done, and one of them is to eat a frog, I would suggest putting that as the very first thing at the very top of your list. The things that are hardest for us to do are the things that we should schedule first, so that we get them out of the way. So if you've got a frog on your list, if eating a frog is on your list of things to do, then I would suggest putting that at the top of your list. For me, eating a frog is prospecting. So it always has been, it always will be. People say, what do you mean, Chris, you're a master prospector? I am a master prospector when I prospect, but getting me to prospect is so hard because that's eating a frog for me. And mindset is so important in what we're doing. And if you're going to skimp on something in your daily tasks, do not skimp on the things that have to do with your mindset, with your affirmations, and with how you are going about your day. And we'll talk about that more in a minute. So I want to talk about the schedule of an effective agent. And it's important that we understand that you are not going to get done everything you want to get done when you're busy and you're in momentum. If you're newer in the business, it feels like there's that vacuum of I'm waiting to talk to somebody about real estate and I'm waiting to have people to go show homes to. And then overnight, your reality changes and you're out showing houses and you're out, getting listing appointments and running around like crazy, and you don't have time to prospect. And it's like it's either one or the other. It's like I'm waiting for people to talk to, or I don't have any time. So the schedule that you have is extremely important. You need to have, when you look at your calendar, you need to have your every hour planned of your day before your day starts. If not, I guarantee you're going to do what all of us do. You are going to get done the thing that is loudest and the squeakiest wheel, and you'll do that every day. And in the end, you won't be able to make enough money. Follow a routine. Getting into a routine and getting into habits is extremely important. One of my mentors, John Cheplack, talks about rhythm instead of balance. We think we need to have a balanced life. For me, I go 100 miles an hour. It's always in one of two directions. It's forward or it's reverse. And I've never been able to learn how to do it differently. What I have been able to do at certain times in my life is get into a rhythm of how I'm going 100% either forwards or backwards, and then following that routine. So my routine right now is I've got certain things that I do, personal commitments that I have in the evenings and on weekends. Monday mornings, I have my 2 coaching calls. Thursday mornings, I'm up in Allen doing my training. And that sets the baseline for the rhythm of my life. So follow a routine, create habits. So here's what I'm going to tell you. It is not a habit unless you do it automatically without even thinking about it. So, it's kind of like brushing your teeth. If you're a brushing your teeth person, and there are some that are and some that aren't, you can't get up in the morning and like start your day without brushing your teeth. It just doesn't feel right. And that's because you've created a habit of brushing your teeth. You've created a habit around prospecting when you've prospected every day for a month. So we need to create those habits in our lives, and those habits become the building blocks of our schedule. So the very first thing that you need to schedule is your hour of power. Tom Ferry talks about prospecting, and he talks about his hour of power. Now, the hour of power can be 2 hours, it can be 3 hours, it can be 4 hours. That is not what matters. What matters is the structure of your hour of power. So the best times to call, if you are trying to talk to consumers, and that is your target audience, so your friends and family, people living in your neighborhood, those things, the best times to call to get a consumer are from 8 to 10 in the morning and from 4 to 6 in the afternoon. Now, my caveat to that is this. The higher the net worth of the individual you're trying to reach, the earlier or later you're going to have to call them. So if you have a group of high net worth individuals, starting calling at 7 o'clock gives you a higher likelihood of getting a hold of them. You're also going to be demonstrating to them that you're willing to do things that other real estate agents aren't willing to do, like make phone calls at 7 o'clock in the morning. Next, this hour of power needs to be scheduled in time blocks, and I'm going to show you how to time block in a minute. Here's what we're doing in our hour of power. We are having 10 real estate conversations. So I'm going to throw this out to you. The first building block of a successful real estate agent is having 10 real estate conversations every day, and having half of them with people that we know and half of them with people that we don't know yet. And we'll talk a little bit about how do we do this and all that, but I want you to have this in your head, is that if on a weekly basis you are not having 50 real estate conversations, on a monthly basis you are not having 200 real estate conversations, 100 of them with people that you know and 100 of them with people that you don't know, you will not ramp your business to the point where you're doing a deal a week. For me, that is utopia. One closing a week, one deal a week over a 52-week period. That is that sweet spot for an agent. And if you're not there, that's where you want to get to. If you are there, it's how do I now leverage my time to get even further down the road? How do I leverage my time so that I can get done what I need to get done in less time? And that's a different conversation. For most of us here on this call, I think we are going in the direction of doing 50 transactions a year. So this is that first building block. Hour of power, schedule your prospecting, time blocking. I want to show you, and this is essential to me in my prospecting today. And so I want you to look at my schedule today. So here's what I've got before 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, I have almost every day of the week, I've got some activity, whether it's a meeting or something like that, that is not business related, it's personal. And so usually for me, I'm doing a couple of calls in the evening, just catching up with people or returning phone calls. But other than that, I'm really not doing work from 6 o'clock until 10 o'clock. I might come back in front of my computer at 10 or 10:30. But ultimately, here is what I've got. I've got my business related things that I have already scheduled in blue. I've got personal things. It's a personal phone call that I make every Mondays and Thursdays at 1:15. Lasts about 15 minutes. So pretty much when I'm looking at this, and when I pulled this up this morning, I don't have time to do any prospecting calls until 2 o'clock. So I then immediately went in and scheduled this morning, and looking at my calendar, that from 2 to 3 today is my dialer time. So I am going to be on my dialer doing my hour of power from 2 to 3. For those of you that have been in my 5551 training, that dialer time, that hour of power, is then going to facilitate my text, emails, and Facebook messaging of my 5551. So this is my hour of power. I'm going to be interacting with Half the people I'm going to be calling are people that I already know, and half the people that I calling are people that I don't already know. And then after that, I do my follow-ups with my text, my emails, and my Facebook messaging of my 5551. And this is how you time block. If you are a very disciplined person, you will jump on a schedule quickly and easily and follow it. If you are not, this will take practice. This will take effort. You're going to have to learn some tricks to how to keep you in a schedule, like having two phones. One of them that you use for outbound calls, like during your hour of power, your text emails and Facebook. Your other, the one that everybody's got the phone number of, that you turn off and send to voicemail during your hour of power, during your prospecting. And even leaving a message. Hey, it's Chris. I'm not answering my phone right now because I am prospecting. I'm calling people back right now. I'll be doing that today from 2 until 4 p.m. So if you happen to be getting me during this period of time, please leave me a message, and I will be returning calls between 4 and 5. Usually people are okay with that. What I usually do as well is say, in case of emergency, please call Juan, or please call Bettina, please call somebody else. That way they know who they have as a backup.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Chris, this is Juan. Hey, could I ask you a question? Because you pointed out something that I don't want people to underestimate, which is you are in the middle of your hour of power, you're gung-ho, you're ready to go, and then all of a sudden your seller that you're under contract with say, hey, I'm not going to fix those repairs.
Right.
And the level of temptation at that moment to not prospect and to answer that silly question that could have been answered at 12 o'clock, I've done it, and I screwed up. And if you could just address that, because I think that just the level of discipline that you're talking about is just phenomenal. And it's just, and this is from someone who iconed twice doing that. So just wanted to throw that out there and just.
Thank you very much, Juan. And so I'll this is why it's so important for me to turn my phone off, because I don't have the discipline to be able to not look at my phone when it rings or when I'm getting a text message. So for me, turning off that phone or removing myself from where that phone is when I'm doing my dialer time, my prospecting, is so important. And I'll throw something else out to you. It is really easy for us to get into the habit as agents of dealing with emergencies. And I would venture to say that the only emergency in your real estate business is your lack of prospecting. The only reason why a seller who is being difficult with repairs is a problem is because you don't have 10 sellers right now. The only reason why the problem buyer who is forcing you to go out to see another 50 houses this weekend is because you don't have 10 buyers that you're working with. Prospecting solves all of those problems. And it is so essential that we make sure we are doing this on a daily basis. And getting into the habit of doing it on a daily basis. Thank you so much, Juan. All right. So, Chris, you've talked about my hour of power. I'm going to schedule that. For some of us, it might end up being 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever that is. But what about my other daily tasks? What are the other really important things that are important that I do on a daily basis? And I would say that personal development is up at the top of that list. Right now, I'm rereading and listening to the book of the 4 Agreements. I've got some other people that are doing it with me. Don Miguel Ruiz, who's the author of this book, his sons are actually coming here to Dallas, and they're going to be here in Dallas on, I think it's September 21st at the Unity Church, and I'm going to a little thing that they're doing, and so I'm rereading the book because of that. Anybody who wants to go with me, let me know. Tickets are about $50, but it's really cool. It's cool. You'll see if you are into Don Miguel Ruiz. So I'm reading this book, 4 Agreements. This is important to me that I do this for about 15, 20 minutes a day. Personal education, I think, is important. It's important that we are continually learning and getting better. I consider this a part of that learning that we do. Being a part of the Make Money Now coaching call every Monday from 10 to 10:30. That's just something that I do. It's on my calendar. It's on my schedule. The live training that we do in Allen, which we also stream on Thursdays. This is something that is a commitment that I make, and so it's that educational piece is important, I would suggest that you create these types of educational habits of things that you are doing, and spending at least a half an hour a day focused on improving your real estate skills. If you need help in figuring out what to do, let me know, and I can definitely help you with this. More daily tasks. Farming activity. So our core 4 is what we are doing within our center of influence, right? So our number 2 core 4 is our geographic farming. So what are my farming activities on a daily basis? If you want more information about detail around these farming activities, go to my YouTube channel. If you search for me on YouTube, sometimes you don't find me, but if you do Chris Weaver Open House, I pop up. I don't know why. So farming activities, previewing the new listings in my farm area as they come on the market, meeting one new homeowner in my farm daily, driving my farm, possibly walking my farm every day, doing something thoughtful for a homeowner in your team farm every day. This is a daily task. Circle dial for 1 hour. So remember before when I talked about in my hour of power, I'm talking to spending half the time talking to people that I know, which is my center of influence. This is the half of the time that I'm spending talking to people that I don't know yet, right? That is my circle dialing. So I am calling people in my farm area to either let them know about something that's going on, or to ask them a question, or to give them some level of value. That's what I'm doing with circle dialing. This is another hour. So this is within my hour of power. This is the part that has to do with calling people that I don't already know. I spend at least 1 hour every day working in my farm. Now, I combine this with other things that I'm doing. So I go to my Starbucks for at least 1 hour every day, and I sit there and I have my laptop and I open it up and I have my open house sign and I have my open house flyers, and I'm talking to people, and I'm establishing myself as a fixture in my neighborhood at my neighborhood Starbucks around my real estate activities. And I'm meeting one business owner every day in my team farm. So for me, a business owner in my team farm is either somebody who lives in my farm that has their own business, or a business that people from my farm will frequent, right? So I'm at the Starbucks, it might be going next door to the beauty parlor or the nail salon and getting to know and meeting that owner. I participate in social media activities around my farm. So if you're relatively new to farming, go to my YouTube channel, watch the videos that have to do with farming. All of my videos are about a half an hour in length, and this will make more sense. I just wanted to include this in our daily tasks so we understand, okay, what am I doing on a daily basis? Next within my daily tasks are my open houses. So on a daily basis, I am doing things to prepare and coordinate my regular open houses and my mega open houses. If you're not sure about the difference, again, go to YouTube and you can look at my mega open house videos. Lead follow-up. So do you notice this is 4th on my list of things to do is lead follow-up? So our first thing is working and generating new business with our center of influence, right? Then it's doing my farm activities. Then it's focusing on the coordination of my open houses. Now I'm getting my lead follow-up. So my lead follow-up, follow the 10 days of pain follow-up plan. If you're not familiar with Ben Kinney's 10 days of pain, let me know. I can get it to you. It's not 10 days of pain for you. It's not 10 days of pain for that person. It's just a specific 10-day plan for somebody that raises their hand as a lead. I interact with every active buyer that I have every day, whether it's text, Facebook, email, or phone. I just want to have some little type of interaction with them, whether it's sending them some new properties or a text message, hey, how's it going? Did you get out to any open houses over the weekend? Whatever the case may be, all of my active buyers I'm interacting with on a daily basis. I'm staying proactive with all of my active listings and staying in front of communication. So I'll give you a suggestion when it comes to this is if you are not sending out reports to your active listings, you're probably stuck in a position where where you are being reactive to questions that your sellers have. So Sunday evenings, what I do is I send out, an update to my sellers, letting them know the things that have gone on since Thursday with their listing. This is feedback that I've gotten. It's been shown this many times, whatever it is. And then saying this is what we need to be talking about this week when it comes to making adjustments to the listing, whether it's a price change or we need to do more an open house or we need to do something different. And then I do the same thing on Wednesday nights to say what's going on from Monday through Wednesday. So that's how I break it down. What that means is then I'm not sitting there fielding calls from my sellers on Mondays and Thursdays, because I'm being proactive and I'm staying in front of the communication by letting them know what's going on before they have a chance to ask. Okay, so that's the end of my PowerPoint. What I want to do real quick, because I'm just going to hit escape here, so I still have, all right. So I want to go, and here's my calendar. So tomorrow, I'm helping out Glenna with using the Vulcan 7 dialer, and then I'm going over some scripts with Melody. So when I look at tomorrow's schedule, and I look at what I need to get done, I'm probably going to be able to do, an hour of calling before and maybe some work after. For me, I don't like splitting that up. So I'm probably going to do my calling, so I'm going to get done here and have a bit of lunch. So I'll go from, dialer, right? And then follow up. So I want to do this planning today for tomorrow. Here's why. Because when I get on the phone this afternoon, right, and I'm calling this afternoon, like I time blocked on the other one, I'm going to be setting myself up with appointments for tomorrow and for Wednesday and for Thursday. And when I do that, I'm going to be limiting the amount of time that I have to prospect in the day. So I need to make sure that I'm scheduling tomorrow's prospecting today. Because if not, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to get into my prospecting today. I'm going to schedule everything tomorrow, and I might not prospect again until Wednesday or Thursday, right? And so here's the thing. If you're going to only prospect 2 days a week, have it be today and tomorrow. So it doesn't matter what today and tomorrow are, but if you're only going to prospect 2 days this week, have it be today and tomorrow. Because here's what happens when I'm doing it today and tomorrow is it's always today and tomorrow, right? You get that? Okay, so 1 minute left. I've got Thomas, who has reached out in the chat for the 10 days of pain. I will shoot that over to you, Thomas. If you, I'm sure I've got your email address. If you didn't put it in the registration, or you think I might not have it, you can shoot it over to me in this chat or in a private chat. And anybody else who wants the Ben Kinney's 10 Days of Pain, it's the best lead follow-up system I've ever seen. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Thomas. Excellent. And anybody else that wants it, I'll also, just so you know, I'll drop it in the Make Money Now coaching group in the files there as well on Facebook. Kim, excellent. I'll get it out to you, Kim. All right. For those of you that are EXPers, we're going to take a quick 15-minute break and be back at 10:45 using the same link for the Talent Attraction Coaching Call. And I look forward to seeing all of you there, Thomas, Kim, Juan, and I don't have the rest of my list in front of me, but the rest of you that are EXPers, feel free to, if you're not an EXP and you want to learn more about EXP, please feel free to come as well. But we'll be back on the same link at 10:45. All right, everyone. Have a great day.